time, I have to talk about the role of rehabilitation and of reintegration program in reducing recidivism. So we agree, and there is abundance of evidence that those programs play a crucial role in when it comes to reduce recidivism. So I would like to talk about, what I would like to talk is about, present a state of play in France, what's going on when it comes to programs, yeah? A kind of overview, the overview of, so you can get a grasp, yeah, about our process and where we've been and what direction we are aiming at. So we thought over a long period of time that we could do everything by ourselves when it comes to take care of offenders, like striking the right balance between protecting society and offenders' rehabilitation. Sure, by now we know that just like everybody else, that prison by itself doesn't have a rehabilitative effect. So several programs exist basically, and it was kind of one size fits all, depending on the type of offense committed. There was basically the judge had just go there and pick up, yeah, the program, yeah, related to the offense, yeah. So there are several of them, yeah. I'm going to list them. It's not going to take a while. The citizenship. The ambassador French ambassador talked about it yesterday, introduced in our law in 2024, to remind the offender our core values of tolerance and respect for human dignity and on which our society is based on. The road safety awareness course, the awareness course of the danger of the misuse of drug, the empowerment course of the prevention and fight against violence within couple and gender-based, the awareness raising course on the fight against the purchase of sexual acts, and the parental responsibility internship, and finally, the fight against sexism, awareness of equality between men and women. So like I say, it's just kind of one size fits all. It doesn't matter, just go there and pick up, yeah? And in 2007, we implement some kind of program called PPR. It's kind of prevent recidivism program, and they were implemented for sexual offender, domestic violence, drug addiction. Probation officers just rely on the group dynamics and on the use of teaching tools to change the way of thinking and the behavior of the participant. So compared with imprisonment, such community-based sections are often as much a more effective way of supporting the social integration of offenders, because they avoid offenders to be exposed to the harmful effect and marginalizing of imprisonment. We all know that short term of imprisonment doesn't give us enough time to do some real intervention, some real work while impacting employment, family, and community ties, exposing offenders to criminal peers. In 2013 was a turning point for probation in France. There was a huge conference, just like this one, basically over several days. Yeah, we call it a consensus conference. Yeah, and new method were kind of to intervene, to supervise probation was kind of implemented in France, kind of compared to the rest of the world, probably Canada, in what's going in the US, UK, where we talk about motivational interviewing, structured program are in our principle to guide our intervention. So yesterday, Lisa talked about, again, about the 2019 criminal reform. So the major development was about the convicted person doesn't have to justify a professional activity, his involvement in family life, a need for medical treatment, or a reintegration effort to get a non-custodial sentence. From now on, probation officers can fully invest in the field of support and the construction of sentence plan that has to be approved by the judge. So these changes are intended to reduce the use of imprisonment to strictly necessary cases and make those the execution of sentence in an open environment the principle. So basically, we're working with individuals to build the capacities, to enhance their skill, to help them think, to understand the change, to build their education qualification, vocational training, even physical and fitness in prison context, to improve themselves, and all those points work to improve the condition of probationers on their journey to move away from the criminal justice. This is where we are right now, and this is what we're trying to really, implement when it's come about working on a daily basis with those offenders. So it's a bumpy ride. So probationers need to be prepared, and that's why it's crucial for us to focus on those following points. Probation officers focus their efforts on reducing dynamic factors such as antisocial behaviors, misuse of drug, intervention associated with a kind of about 19% decrease in recidivism. Cognitive and behavioral intervention are those which, given the current evidence, produce the highest effects in reducing recidivism. 23% decrease in recidivism observed in people who participate in such program compared to people who did not participate. 28% decrease in recidivism of violence, 42% decrease in general recidivism among those who completed the program compared to those who did not. Finally, the offenders with trained probation officers to train probation officers to core correctional practices are less likely to reoffend. So in the continuity of 2019 criminal reform and convinced by this new method based on our principle, France wish to be able to provide enhanced supervision to individual sentence to short-term sentences. So right now, our administration work with our kind of national school yet, training the staff and call on international collaboration. And now what's emerged kind of programs that we're about to implement. Actually, it's kind of pilot tests we are running in 12 jurisdictions, and making sure it's kind of taking care, dealing with arson, working, mental fitness, and so the support for a system for this program is divided in two collective work sequences: a general program, plus, so like I say, in arson, mental health, work, health habits, financial, and we're going to evaluate those programs of both process and outcome. Thanks for your attention, and back to